Hello, I'm going to talk a lot as Balatro plays in the background. Why? I don't know, man. Alright, I gotta show somebody my Balatro gameplay, and unfortunately for you, that's you, I guess. I mean, you caused this. You clicked on the video. Why'd you do that? Did you think there was gonna be anything other than a man talking a lot? Because here we go. Now, anyway, I want to talk about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, right? That's the name of the show, the new Game of Thrones spinoff with Dunk and Egg, two funny characters and their fun adventures through this ancient land of medieval knights and chivalry and fun and joyous occasions like brutal killing and politics and fiefdoms and kings and conspiracies and I don't know. What the fuck's going on in Game of Thrones, man? I only watched like the first season of that and then I just like stopped. I did read up to the third book, and maybe I would have finished that third book eventually if I was like, well, is there going to be an ending? I don't want to read like, is it 5 or 6 books that are out? I don't want to read like 6 books. It's just like, oh yeah, no ending. Sorry. Bah. I can't talk right now. This is not a good time for me. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm barely holding it together. I am on the verge of absolutely losing my mind. And speaking of losing my mind, I'm just been listening to podcasts because I'm like, you know what? I got nothing. There's nothing in the tank. I've unfortunately just completely collapsed my ability to do anything and everything that would be like moderately complex, you know? I can only do the simple. And so I was like, all right, throwing on Balatro and throwing on a podcast and listening to that. And so I listened to 3 podcasts. I'll name one. The first one that I listened to is Dunk Time. Pretty fun podcast. If you have Nebula, you can get the extended version, which is pretty fun. But I don't know. I enjoy it because it's basically a podcast with 2 Game of Thrones nerds / YouTubers where, you know, both made a lot of videos on Game of Thrones, you know, have vested interest in the world, read the novels, you know, and they just like go through the episode and kind of talk about it and like, you know, sort of just like recap it a little bit, but they don't just like recap it. They're like, oh, let's talk about this first scene, and then after that we got this scene, and they kind of go through it like very thoroughly, and it's quite fun. They're making jokes, they're having a good time. I'm interested. I'm like, cool. I'm hearing about the novels, like direct changes, and like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then I immediately follow it up with, I'm not going to name this podcast because I don't even remember it, but it was like, it was 3 people, and I didn't hear any of the other 2 people talk. It was just the main guy, and he talked a lot, and the first segment was like, oh, hey, let's do the recap of the show, and he goes into like, it almost like he was writing notes during the show and like reading that out. It's like, that can be fun sometimes, but it was just like, I'm like, I know what happened. I don't need a recap. And also, I'm I don't know, it's probably pretty rich coming from me, all things considered, but I think you gotta have like a good voice to podcast. Like, you don't have to have a perfect voice by any means. No, imperfection is in all of us, and we're all perfect in that way, I guess. And, oh, lucky cat, look at me, I'm gonna get real lucky. Now that's pretty fun. Alright, okay. Now that's exciting. Sorry, I just happened to look at my Balatro gameplay. You can't tell I'm not playing Balatro, alright? I did that earlier. I'm not doing it now. I'm just talking, and I'm barely managing to do that, you know? So, I don't know. Oh yeah, so I was immediately just like, I can't listen to this podcast anymore. Enough of this. And then YouTube is just like, hey, listen, pal, I know, you just listened to about like 4 minutes of that podcast. You know what you want? You want another fucking podcast. And I'm like, okay, yeah, why not? I'll take another Game of Thrones, or not Game of Thrones, but this one was a Game of Thrones podcast because it was like from their official like Game of Thrones YouTube channel, and it's like 2 people. I don't know who they are. But it was like, hey, welcome to the official A Night of the Seven Kingdoms podcast or whatever. And I'm like, oh, can you do this? I mean, I guess you can do it. It feels a little weird, right? Like, what do I don't know. It's like the people who are running it seem like they're kind of just fans of the show, but it's like, so it's like you don't have any involvement in the show. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty curious as to who the 2 people are that are actually doing the podcast. But, I don't know, it's interesting how it was, like, very scripted. It's like a scripted podcast, which, like, that's fine. Like, I think a scripted podcast can be kind of fun, but it was, like, scripted in the way where they have, like, loose notes and outlines. And it kind of have that, like, sitting in front of them or on their lap or something, I think. And I don't know, and a lot of that was just a recap, but the recap was done in like 4 minutes, whereas like the other podcast I listened to for 4 minutes, and I'm like, we're not even like in the it's like we've just gotten to the flashback moment of the episode, which, by the way, I'm gonna say, hot fucking take. If you're somebody that's like, oh man, I was watching this show and a bunch of cool violence was gonna happen, but instead we have to go have this like like really interesting backstory or flashback with this character, and you know, get to know them a bit better, see their motivations, and like, I don't know, honestly just have some like great scenes. Like, it's kind of you kind of get Dunk's origin story of how it came to be basically all he is, which is a squire and a wannabe knight, but a squire to Sir Arlen. And like, I don't know, it's a really great scene. And I was listening to the second podcast, and this guy was like, yeah, which that kind of annoyed me the first time I was watching. I'm like, how could it fucking annoy you? Because for me, it's so exciting, because it's like, oh, when is this fucking flashback gonna end? And it's like the flashback goes on for so long, and then it ends perfectly. Like, it's perfect, and then you get like just an amazing fucking fight scene. Just a very visceral, exciting, fun, like, man, violence is terrible and awful, but God, this shit kind of rules. Like, yeah, it's completely brutal, it's completely terrible, but it is sick as fuck when one guy is just punching another guy and you're like, I like the guy who's punching the other guy. I'm rooting for that guy. That guy's my guy. I want to see him win. I want to see him succeed. Oh, man. But yeah, no, I know, that's always something funny too, is that it's like, you can have a different opinion than me. You can be annoyed by it, but I'm going to be annoyed by you being annoyed by it. Alright? All's fair in the internet game of commenting on shit. Anyway, though, the actual official Game of Thrones podcast, I guess, according to them, I think it was the Game of Thrones channel, had like 1 million plus subscribers, like 4 million, I think, or something. And, or maybe 3 million. I don't know. I think I round up. I did that before where I'm like, oh, this person has like, 4 million subscribers. I'm like, oh, they have 3 million. But anyway, me being bad with numbers aside, I'm also bad with words and remembering what exactly it was I was talking about It was the official Game of Thrones podcast, and how it was much snappier. Like, recap was pretty fast. They had like actual clips from the show, and that definitely did make it more interesting. Of like, hey, here's the actual clip that we're talking about. We're just gonna play that in full, and then like say a couple of things about it. And it's like definitely a much better paced podcast, I guess. Which, like, is a very funny thing to say. I mean, I know there's, like, fiction podcasts and stuff like that, but I don't know, commenting on the pace of a podcast just seems inherently very funny to me. Oh, dude, nice podcast. Dude, the pacing is sick, man. Dude, I love the pacing of that podcast, bro. Oh, look at me. I'm nervous. I'm not going to play the king because I think I'm going to lose. But I'm not going to lose? Yeah, and no. Well, what was I even worried about? I should have played that king. What's wrong with me? Anyway. Oh, yeah, much snappier. And then at the end, they interviewed the director, I believe. I don't know. If you can't tell, I'm super tired. That's why my eyes are really red. Okay? All right? Get off my back. Sorry. I think I'm also sorry about this run. I mean, I think I'm gonna get to past Anti-8, but also I don't know how I have this much time left in it. I also have not been paying attention to it in the slightest. But yeah, no. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Those were like the two things I had to talk about. Or, yeah. I guess they're two things. Technically like 5 things or whatever. Or, what? I'm bad with numbers. No more numbers. No more fucking numbers. See, I like Balatro because you know what? Everything is abstracted numbers. Like, we can all be boiled down to numbers. Like, we're this many atoms. We're this many blood cells. This many organs. This many features. I don't know. Limbs. Like, you can assign numbers to everything, but you have to abstract them to find joy in life. Otherwise, you're just dealing with numbers, and that shit fucking sucks. Have you ever thought about numbers for too long, man? Yeah. You, me, and everybody else on the fucking planet. Shit sucks, man. But yeah, no, I don't really have anything else funny or interesting to talk about. I don't even think the first thing I was talking about was that interesting. It's just like, I don't know, I would say that's maybe a tip. If you're for some reason listening to me and you want to know what I think about becoming a content creator, don't ask me. I'm a fucking failure. And certainly don't take my advice. But my advice would be is you don't need to recap shit. Like, I don't know, man. I think it's something I heard from Big Joel, if you know him. Great YouTuber. But he's actually one of my favorites, if not my favorite. But he gave a bit of advice that was basically, hey, you don't need to recap stuff. Like, it's if you're making a video about whatever, you don't need to recap. I find it to be boring and unnecessary, and it just really drags down the video. Just jump into what you want to talk about and give like a very brief summary, if anything. I don't know if he says that, but that would be what I would say. I'm paraphrasing. But yeah, and it's just like, I've been watching a lot of like, Dispatch, hate, or not hate, but like Dispatch criticism videos. Why? I don't know. It's because I think I like hearing somebody else's opinion that's different than mine, because it convinces me that I'm noble and better by being like, okay, all right, let's see what this person thinks. And even if I like disagree with them, not even on like a very extreme level, just like, okay, I can see where you're coming from. You're playing the game and you're like, I don't like the sex scenes. I think they're unnecessary. And I would just be like, yeah, everything's unnecessary, right? Technically life isn't even necessary. Like, I don't mean that in like a fucking fucked up way or anything. It's just like, it's not necessary for you to breathe. It's like, it's necessary if you want to live, but you can just not breathe and then you would die because you need to breathe to live. It's like, none of it is necessary. It's not a valid fucking criticism. Okay, it's more valid for you to be like, I don't fucking like this thing, than like, I think this thing is unnecessary. And it's like, just say what you mean. That's also the thing too, is I'm just like, I played the fucking game, I don't need a recap. And if you're gonna do a recap, at least make it like kind of fucking funny. Like, back to that second Game of Thrones podcast, I think it was supposed to be funny, but it just wasn't funny. And it failed. You can't fail on humor. Humor is like maybe one of the worst things to fail at, because you can fail at like making something serious, making something dramatic, and that will be fucking funny and people will enjoy that. But if you fail being funny, nobody's gonna enjoy that. So yeah, I guess it is like a big risk. But I mean, when I say nobody, it's just, people who have different senses of humor. Which, like, I think is kind of interesting. That's not something you think about all too often, but it's like, you kind of have in your mind, it's like, well, anybody could be funny if they were just truly funny. If this guy was funny, they would make me personally laugh. But it's like, what if somebody is funny to everyone but you? You find them to be unfunny. Are they not funny now? I don't know. Really gotta stop. I really gotta have my eyes stop getting so red. It's not good for you. I turned 25 recently. I'm a decrepit old man. I'm so bitter and resentful, and ooh, I have slight back pain because I don't take care of it like a fucking idiot. Get better shoes. Alright, that's my advice to you. Ooh, I have back pain. You need better shoes, buddy. You gotta get some good fucking shoes that got some support, that fucking give you what you need to succeed and not to break down and die in these fucking I'm pretty sure this is blasphemous, but sorry, I don't want to finish it because my joke is that it's like our bodies are a testament to God's non-existence. Like, no God fucking made this thing. No God made the body. Why the fuck would he do that? God, why'd you make us like that? Hey buddy, hey pal, I know you're all knowing or whatever the fuck, but I got some notes, I got some critiques on how you made the human fucking body. There's a couple of things I could list for improvement on the human body. Firstly, not enough legs. We need more legs. I mean, I don't know. Would it be better to have more legs? More legs, slightly less big brains. Slightly less. Slightly. Why would that be better? I don't fucking know. I'm an idiot. Anyway. Man, these are terrible. I always wonder, hey, why do I never release these? Oh yeah, they're terrible. I'm unfunny. Because this is the thing I do. What I justify this to myself as practice at talking. Get better at talking good. And I don't think I'm succeeding, but I'm trying. I'm putting an effort for it. I'm going, hey, I'm forcing myself to sit down and talk for 27 minutes and 35 seconds straight. Why? I don't know. That's how long the fucking Balatro video I recorded is. By the way, fun fact. You're not crazy. There is, like, when I was recording this, I didn't realize I have my mic recording. So you may just be able to make out in the background of the video, like, a Library of Laterno video is what I think it is. I don't know. Sometimes when I'm playing Balatro, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to really listen to this thing and I'm going to absorb it and I'm going to have a good time listening to a podcast. Sometimes I'm just like, my brain's got nothing. We'll just try to make the number go up and then fail and be like, fuck, this is just like my real life. Why am I playing this stupid fucking video game where all I do is gamble and fucking lose when I can just live my real life and do that? At least when I win in reality, I get something out of it. When I lose or when I win in Balatro, all it does is make me feel good. Which is fine until I think about my fucking life again. But not really. I don't know. Does self-deprecating jokes work? Because I really like self-deprecating jokes, and I enjoy them from, like, the audience of me. Of, like, hey, I know my audience, and my audience is me, this guy. The guy talking right now, this fucking piece of shit. But... it's like, I fear I'm the only one who's funny. I'm the only one who's funny to me. No, fuck, I got that so wrong. I fear that the only one I'm funny to is me. There you go. That's it. I don't know if that's proper sentence structure or whatever, but I think I got my actual point across. Like, I have a very strong fear that there's one guy who finds me funny, and that guy is me. And that fucking sucks, man. That's all I ever wanted to be, was funny. I just wanted to be a funny fucking fellow. And I don't know if I am. I don't know if I can be a funny fucking fellow. And also, speaking of things that are funny and I enjoy them, I guess. Circling on back to Dispatch, I think the game is funny. I think it's just, like, genuinely comedic. And I think it's, like, got interesting characters, and they're not, like, as fleshed out as they could be, but also it's like it sort of seems like the game kind of barely happened, you know, of like, oh yeah, the game got made, but it was fucking hard to get the game made. And like, I don't think you should completely give it slack for that, but like, I find it to be really funny and like enjoyable. And like, a lot of people do feel similarly. Like, they might be like, I think that part's kind of fucked up, or I would have changed this, or I would have done that, or you know, I just would turn this shit into a very complicated dating sim, you know. And it's like, I think that's all fine and valid and dandy or whatever. But it's like, I think there's something about humans, me included in this. I'm a human, fun fact. But it's like, there is this inherent joy in negativity of like, even though we don't like being negative and we don't like feeling negative feelings, we sort of revel in it a little bit. Of like, we sort of, there's a part of us, like a sick, twisted, psycho part of us that craves things to be upset about. And like, I wonder what that is. Like, I wonder why that is. Of why, like, because also it's like, I think about this with stuff I like. And like, I don't know, it's interesting, different perspectives you will see and hear on it. Say, for example, one of my, I don't want to say it's like one of my favorite games of all time, but a game that has like a strong a strong place in my heart, or I have a soft spot for, is The Outer Worlds. I really like The Outer Worlds. Like, I think it's a very fun game, and it's obviously not what everyone wanted it to be. And like, a lot of people are very disappointed. And like, again, it's kind of reflected in the like you try to look up YouTube videos for The Outer Worlds, and like, all the ones with the most views are The Outer Worlds is mid as fuck, bro. Dude, the Outer Worlds, it's a video game. It's like in my opinion, maybe like a 5 or 4 out of 10, and that means it fucking sucks. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously being a bit facetious, or silly. I don't know, whichever word fits better. But like, to me, it's just like it's a fascinating inclination you see, because it's like there's like all those videos, and then like I think my favorite video on the Outer Worlds is by Philosophy Tube, and I think you probably get it either on her Patreon or on Nebula if you have that. I don't know. I mentioned Nebula twice. Look, man, people really like Dropout. They recommend Dropout. I think Dropout's great. I don't know why, but I'm just like, I don't want a Dropout subscription. But I will be like, I do want a Nebula subscription because A, I get some big Joel bonus videos. But B, I get like, just like a bunch of like bonus Patreon videos from like a bunch of people I like. And so I do think that's a pretty fun thing. But yeah, oh yeah, March 14th 2025. This video is almost a year old, but it's called The Outer Worlds, Coping with Nihilism. I don't know, I like that video a lot. It's like my favorite video involving the Outer Worlds, and it's kind of not even that much about the Outer Worlds. Like the Outer Worlds is sort of a background drop to the video, but like I think it's like pretty great, and it works out really fun. I don't know, it works out very good, interesting way. It's a great video, but I don't know, it's just fascinating to me that it's like like again, I kind of like positive stuff. Like I tend to gravitate towards stuff that's like fun and it makes me feel good, and I'm like, oh, this is great. But then also it's like there's that other version of me that's just like, nah, I want something that's gonna make me fucking mad. I want to look up like game reviews or like user reviews on Metacritic or Steam and get fucking pissed at why people don't like this game that I like. And it's like, that's really fun too. It's like they're both fun things. I don't know if they're better. Heyo, I don't know if you could tell, but I was rapidly approaching the end of this video, and I was panicking trying to think of a, something. Not even something funny, just something to end the video off with. And I panicked and said the wrong thing, again, which I've done plenty of times already, I'm sure. But what I meant, if you haven't figured it out before I've figured it out, what I meant to say was like, oh yeah, I don't know if one makes for an inherently like better video or is like a better feeling. I think in all honesty, you need a balance between the two. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like at times you have to be negative, and you're like allowed to be negative and down and dour on something, and then you can be positive on other things in your life. And again, I think it's a balance ultimately, because like too much of one thing is probably bad for you. Of like, yeah, it's probably not good to always be like super happy all the time with like no problems or anything like that. Now, I will say that's always a classic. I will always love a God damn it. It ate my input, man. It ate my input. And anyway, sorry about that. I don't know how that sounded on the mic, but it was not fun for me. Anyway, I don't know how much more fun this is going to be for me or for you, so I'm going to end it here at 30 minutes. So I was a little off and say it was 27 minutes or whatever, but that was the original plan. But yeah, here we are. I don't know. They're both like, they're both like fun and interesting feelings, and like totally different approaches to talk about media. Of like, hey, this thing changed my life, and hey, this thing didn't change my life, but it's a fucking piece of shit, and I kind of hate it. It's like, I think they're both valid ways to talk about media. And so yeah, I would say just do whatever you want. Like go after what you're passionate about. Passion is a key thing. And when it's like real, that's fucking sick, man.